Tchaikovsky on Xanax. Needless to say, Tchaikovsky was never on the sedative medication Xanax, also known as alprazolam. Nor did he ever have any thoughts on Xanax, for the very simple reason that Xanax did not exist in Tchaikovsky's lifetime. It should also be made clear from the outset that there are serious cases of depression in this world that require medication, and it would be disingenuous to claim otherwise. Yet the ease with which antidepressants are often prescribed in our digital age is alarming. So here's a thought experiment. What if Tchaikovsky could have taken Xanax to make his sorrows disappear? This incredible musical genius who wrote in his diaries how he could feel his pieces of music cry inside his soul, who had to write them down so that they stopped crying. What if the crying was not there in the first place because Xanax muted it? Would there still have been the Sixth Symphony, or would that too have been muted? Would we have lost one of the greatest musical pieces ever? We will never be able to test this proposition, but if you have heard the tears cried by the string instruments in the fourth movement of the Sixth Symphony, you may echo my sentiment that Xanax could have dried those tears up. But we're being selfish here, for we have taken our love of Tchaikovsky's music as the decisive criterion. What about Tchaikovsky himself? Should his emotional well-being not be more important than our love for his music more than a century later? Then the answer is clear. Tchaikovsky taking Xanax would have been happier, his emotional sorrows gone. How simple? So simple we must have missed something important. And indeed we have, for we have made the assumption that suppression of sorrow means happiness. True, it is a state no longer characterized by emotional pain, but is that really happiness? A tree feels no sadness. Not that we know, anyway. Does that mean the tree is happy? This seems like an extremely unlikely proposition. And Tchaikovsky, who cried easily, who referred to this state as the bittersweet state of creation, might have sold his artistic soul to end up in a proverbial fool's paradise. And where do we fit in as a society? We love Tchaikovsky's music. Isn't Xanax a hypocritical solution? Do we not have a moral obligation to create a world in which Tchaikovsky can afford to keep his fragile vulnerability, which is the very soul of the artist? Our cruel world made of steel and gunpowder daily puts its best minds into an emotional coma. An artist who has lost touch with the heartbeat of creativity dies. Music is the most universal human language, the language of the human heart, the language of love. If we lose that language, we will all have lost ourselves. We started with Tchaikovsky, but discovered that it really is about us all. Maybe not that surprising. We are one species.